Happy Saturday. Happy day 2 of transfer portal season. Frank, House of Orange TV, lots of rumors flying. Visits are set up and happening. What all's exactly going on? Is Tennessee close to closing in on anybody? And we'll discuss that here in a minute. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe along the way. Thank you so much for the support. Let's get to the positions. Obviously, everybody wants to know what's going on at quarterback. And frankly, there is not a lot out there. The early names mentioned were Brandon Sorsby from Cincinnati. Sam Leavitt started as well. And then there's a big rumor floating yesterday, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But Sorsby seems to be Texas Tech or LSU. Sam Leavitt is visiting Kentucky. Kentucky's going in on him, but it said he will also, not to rule out Oregon, LSU, or Miami. I've seen AustinPriceVolQuest.com mentioned Josh Heupel trying to make contact with Sam Leavitt. I have not seen Pete Nakos, any of the On3 guys, mention Tennessee with Sam Leavitt. I don't think either of those is happening. And a big rumor that started getting out there, and of course it was because of the playoff game. Ty Simpson was benched. It was because of an injury that he was benched. Now people speculating he'll hit the transfer portal on it. I've not seen it. The one thing I've seen on it is, and this is, I think it was AustinPriceVolQuest.com. He was point blank on it. He said he plays for Bama and he's going to the NFL draft. I think that's foregone conclusion that Simpson goes to draft. Now, could he pull a Carson Beck like last year? I mean, last year Carson Beck was thought going into the season to be maybe the overall number 1 pick. Didn't have the season he'd hoped, and he went to Miami and apparently made a lot of cash at the same time. Could Simpson do the same? If that were the case, I don't know that it's Tennessee. Anyway, I don't know that Tennessee's paying $4 to $5 million for a quarterback. I just don't. And so I would say we can go ahead and put that one in the not happening category. I would just say it's not happening. And there's been nothing actually of substance to indicate Ty Simpson might hit the transfer portal and come to Tennessee. It's just not. Other than that, I mean, there's Anthony Caliendra, who's been mentioned, UNLV quarterback, but I've seen that shot down by VolQuest.com as well, saying that they feel that's more agent talk. So, and it's really kind of interesting to me with, you if you're on these boards and stuff, people are asking left and right, who are we in on quarterback? And these mods have gone silent on it. So that tells me, it really tells me there's not a lot of intel as far as quarterbacks go with who Tennessee's actually chasing after. There's some good names out there, but I'm still of the belief that they sign if they sign a starter, it's a 1-year guy. I don't think they go and get a multi-year guy. Sam Leavitt he's at least a 2-year guy. And so that one kind of surprised me to an extent. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the portal's open for 13 more days. And, obviously after that, if my understanding is right, you just have to be in the portal by that time. You can still add after that. But names of interest, talked about, is Tennessee close on some guys? I think they are. And I think the defense is going to get a big boost here pretty soon. Quay Moss, Kansas State safety, is supposed to be, I don't know if he's on campus yet or not, but it's said that he is visiting, and, based on VolQuest.com, based on On3, everything I'm seeing, that one could go pretty quick there. So I would expect him in the fold. Keaton Thomas, Baylor linebacker, over 100 tackles last year. He's supposed to be on campus Sunday from what I've seen per VolQuest.com. And I think that's another one that could possibly go pretty quick. So that would be 2 really good additions in there. You've also got Tawfiq Byard, Colorado safety. He's supposed to be on campus on Sunday. My understanding was he was visiting Texas A&M first, then Tennessee. Not sure if he's going anywhere after that, but that would be a big pickup for Tennessee. Another safety, King Mack, On3. I think it was Pete Nakos said that Tennessee looks to be the favorite in that one, and that one could go pretty quick as well. Tennessee could potentially add 3 really good safeties this weekend in Quay Moss, Tawfiq Byard, and King Mack. That would be excellent. Now, where does that leave Edris Farouk? Where does that leave Caleb Beasley? be interesting to see. Be interesting to see what happens in that standpoint. But I say it again, Farouk had some good moments this past season, but he led the team in missed tackles. Okay, so and our safeties, and I don't know if that was Willie Martinez, Tim Banks, or whom, our safeties were the worst angle takers that I've ever seen this year. And I think with Jim Knowles coming in, with Anthony Poindexter, who was an excellent safety at Virginia back when he played there. He's a really good safeties coach. I think you're going to see a lot better technique, a lot better play in that secondary. I think you're going to see it all the way around. I really do on it. And it's pretty obvious to me that they're focusing on defensive linemen too. I mean, we've seen now, it's been confirmed too, Mateen Ibaragba, Wake Forest defensive tackle. Now, he had transferred to Wake Forest from Georgetown, but he's in the portal. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen he's at Texas Tech. He's going to visit Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Tennessee. So if you're getting a visit, you've got a legit shot at it. A lot of people are scared of Texas Tech and their money right now, and I think probably legitimately so. We've seen that Texas Tech in numerous the big one I can think of is women's softball, where they just were paying just ridiculous amounts last year. But supposedly it's going on in football too. But also, I think if you look at it, I seen Austin Price make a comment, said the 2 Penn State defensive linemen will be here. I'm assuming he means Xavier Gillum and Chaz Coleman, which would be 2 big ones. Coleman, it looks like, is Ohio State, Tennessee, LSU. Can that connection with Penn State, where he played for Jim Knowles last year, played for A.J. Jackson and these guys, could that one pay off? And then I don't think Tennessee's afraid to spend money. I don't think they're afraid to spend it in the portal. I think they're going to be strategic about it because they have a lot of needs on it. They could go spend $5 million on a quarterback, but then, look at it on the defensive side of the football. To me, it wouldn't hurt to add at least 2 safeties, and really good ones too. Keaton Thomas, you add him, that's an excellent pickup. Again, he was on the Bednarik Awards list. I'm not sure I've not looked at how far he made it on that. I know he had over 100 tackles at Baylor. That would be a really good pickup. That would be a sturdy linebacker in the middle. You pair him with Edwin Spillman, with Jaden Perlotti as he continues to get better. I still got a lot of hope in Jaden Harmon. I mean, you got Jeremiah T-Lander. Let's not forget about him as well. Jeremiah T-Lander can tackle. He can tackle. Speed is a question, but I don't know. I like T-Lander. I do. I think he's a decent football player. I think he's a good guy to have on your team. I really do. I don't have a problem. A lot of guys have flaws. A lot of guys have flaws on the team, and but the eyes are going to be on William Inge. People have questioned him last couple of years. I don't think William Inge is a bad football coach. I don't think he's all of a sudden forgotten how to coach football. He's been coordinator at places. He's been co-coordinator. He's pretty widely respected dude on it. I think it was a good move to keep him. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, you can make a move next year on it. Of course, we know Willie Martinez, Coach Chop, they are out at this point. Of course, Tim Banks is out also. I like the defensive staff. I like what they're doing with the portal. The big questions obviously is going to be quarterback, and they're going to have to add a running back for depth purposes. I just don't think there's any doubt about that. Not seen anything of any imminent visits there. Seen Hollywood Smothers, NC State, Cam Cook, Jacksonville State mentioned as well. If there's any quarterback stuff comes up, try to pass it along. I'm really surprised at how tight the lid is on this one. I don't know if Tennessee's just doing their due diligence. I don't know if there's talk going on behind the scenes. The fact that, again, these mods are not even comment on the questions with it, other than to shoot down basically the Ty Simpson rumor, which seemed kind of crazy to me to begin with. But I mean, again, this stand, if Tennessee can add Moss and Thomas, that would be an excellent start. You're going to be in a battle for Byard. You're going to be in a battle for Chaz Coleman. Ibaragba is going to be a battle obviously in there as well. We're going to see how aggressive Tennessee gets. I would expect you'll see more defensive tackles visit. There have been names out there, with Caleb Herring hitting the portal. With it was announced last night, true freshman Jaden Lofton is hitting the portal. There's still talk possibly Jordan Ross could hit the portal. I'm curious to see what happens on that one as well, as there's not been any talk there. And I've not seen any talk on any corners. They're going to have some corners as well. You got Ty Redmond coming back. It looked to me like it kind of solidified yesterday based on social media posts that Ty Redmond, Ethan Davis, Braylon Staley, they're all good to go next year based on their social media posts. Now, again, I don't follow these guys, but if you know how the algorithms and stuff work, which I'm sure a lot of you do, you start getting posts that associate with what you look at on that. And, of course, with Tennessee, with my channel on it, I get that. And so those led me to believe those guys will be back next year. And, will we get any surprise entries into the portal? In this day and age, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. But we'll see. I don't think we've seen the last portal entries. I really don't. And, with it being, a 2-week window overall, where Tennessee adds could influence some others to say, hey, I'm not playing next year. I'm hitting the portal. But Tennessee's got to do what they've got to do. And I tell you what encourages me, and I know people are freaking out on it. I'm going to be totally real about this and where I'm at. I'm encouraged by what they're doing on it. 8-5 this past season. Yeah, they didn't beat a winning team. Really didn't beat a good team. They did go to Florida and win. I don't care how good or bad Florida is. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Changes needed to be made. If Josh Heupel would have stayed with the status quo, I would have been concerned on this. The fact that he went out and he's put together, he went out immediately, got Jim Knowles. They've put together what looks to me like a hell of a defensive staff. A lot of us have said it. Strength and conditioning, it's not up to par. It's not. They're addressing that. I can't see making changes on the offensive staff based on what they did last year, based on what they did with Joey Aguilar, not even having a spring practice to go through, having, 4 months tops. That's probably being generous to learn the offense and do it. Yeah, I know things fell off the end of the year. Obviously, come out, Joey Aguilar was throwing with a cancer in his arm. God bless him. Speed recovery for Joey Aguilar. Thank you, Joey Aguilar, too. Loved watching him play this year. Man, I wanted so much more for him. Unfortunately, we didn't have a defense to back up what he did most of the year. But I'm encouraged by where they're going. The one thing I want to see out of Josh Heupel, I want to see the gunslinger come back. I want to see the guy who would put his foot on their throats and not let off. We've not seen that guy in a couple years. Hopefully, with all these changes, that guy who was freaking ruthless comes back next year to go along with what should be a much improved defense and what we will hopefully see as a much improved strength and conditioning, especially along the lines of scrimmage. Any news stuff comes out, keep you posted on that. Frank, House of Orange, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you when I see you.